Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Angela Olfest, and this channel is dedicated to those new voiceover artists that are looking for a little bit more information on how to get started and how to get things rolling. And I share a little bit of information about my own journey and maybe some pitfalls to avoid, or maybe some things that we need to start doing sooner rather than later, and defining some of those terms that you hear. When you first start with voiceover, you start to hear all of these, acronyms and all of these, just this lingo that is used, and you're just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You might as well be speaking a completely different language. I can totally relate. I was there. I get it. So what we're going to talk about in this video today is I'm going to address another question that I have received a few times, and that is, what do I do in the beginning? What should I not do in the beginning? What would you, Angela, what would you do differently if you were starting all over again? And I can tell you that I started this business, well, I just started with voiceover in, it was about 3 years ago. I went full-time a year ago with my business. I had quit my 9 to 5 and took my voiceover business full-time a year ago. And I think for me, what I would have started earlier is I would have started getting more into social media. I think let me just say that I am not the person to begin with that wants to share everything on social media. I am an introvert, believe it or not. I would much rather sit in this room all day talking to myself and have my cat in here and maybe occasionally see my family than to go out and spend hours on social media interacting with people I don't know. But when you own a business, it's definitely something that you need to overcome. You need to come out of that comfort zone and really start to engage with other people and reach out to other companies and make some new connections, build some relationships with people. And if you're like me, that's tough because you want to stay in your close little comfy cocoon and just be fine all by yourself. But you really can't when you have a business, any kind of business. You need to go out, go beyond your levels of comfort and meet people and make connections. And I wish I had started that earlier because it is important. I mean, the amount of followers and things of that nature aren't that much of a big deal, I think. However, if I could see how if you were an influencer and had, a large amount of followers, more companies might reach out to you to be the voice of their business, to represent their business. I get that part. But I think it's more in building the relationships with people and building those connections with people. Because even if you made, 10 new connections in a month, if those connections were with companies that you could really engage with and really connect with, and they were comfortable with you, you're comfortable with them, you could build a pretty good business on those, really great connections. It just doesn't really work that way, I guess. Because in reality, it really comes down to like a numbers game. The more people you reach out to, the more connections you're going to make. But on the flip side, if you have a lot of connections, you're going to need you need to outsource to have somebody help you to keep those connections and to keep that level of engagement. So it's kind of a catch-22 because you want to reach out to people, you want to make those connections, but the more places you put yourself to be available to people, the more often you're going to have to be on those platforms to engage with people. And there are lots of them. As a voice actor, just to give you an example, you have not only all of your social media platforms, because there's at least the four big ones. There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But as a voice actor or a freelancer, I guess, you have all of these other platforms that your work is available for purchase, like Fiverr, like ACX, like Upwork, like Guru.com, like Voices.com or Voice123. There are dozens upon dozens of different platforms where people are going to communicate with you. So at some point, you're going to need to probably outsource to have somebody to start helping you to make content, to help you engage with people, because a lot of your day is going to be spent interacting with people on different platforms. The remainder of your day is building or actually doing the work and then working on your marketing and or tracking your expenses or being a business owner. There's a lot of different places that you need to be at any given time. And then to add the social media on top of it, I'm definitely at that point where I am needing some help to keep up with everything. But I guess I'm just droning on at this point. But to answer the question, the thing I think I would have started or should have started with earlier was building my social media for my business. But instead of doing that from the beginning, what I was doing was pouring through YouTube and watching every video that I could about voice acting, the business of voice acting, the performance aspect of voice acting, the technical side of voice acting, as well as listening to the different comparisons of, audio interfaces and microphones and pop filters and just getting a general knowledge of everything that there was that has to do with voice acting and audiobook narrating, which isn't really a bad thing either. But if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would have started my YouTube channel sooner. I would have started to create videos for YouTube. I think TikTok hasn't been around that long, but TikTok would be another great place to start making videos and introducing yourself to the world. Because that's really what social media is introducing yourself and building those relationships. And that right now is, I think, the best form of marketing yourself. Because you could send out a million emails to a million different people, but they're so cold. You don't really get a good idea of who these people are that email you. But on social media, you still have a certain amount of anonymity, but you can go through all of their posts. You can see everything that they've done. You can kind of get a better grasp of what kind of person they are. And I have to apologize. My stomach is growling, so I hope you don't hear it. But social media allows you that. It shows more of who you are. So if you have a post or a video or something that comes up on somebody's page and they see it, they have the opportunity to go back through your profile and look at everything else about you, and they have a better grasp on who you are as a person and if they want to work with you or not. So definitely social media, get on there. I know it's tough. I know it might be confusing. I know it's hard to get out of that comfort zone for some of us, but it is definitely worth the time. But I would definitely get in there and start doing something with it right away. And for those of you that are already on social media and have it down pat, that's awesome. I really wish I would have had those skills to start with, but I just don't. And I know there's a lot of people that are like me in that respect. So that is pretty much it for this video. Please, if you have any other questions or comments, I love to make videos to answer your questions. So if you have a question in particular, leave it down below or shoot me an email if you feel better that way. Hop over to my website, voiceoverangela.com. I've got pages and pages and pages of information there available for you. I've got recommended gear to get you started. I have a membership program with a great group of people who interact with each other and are very helpful, and it's awesome. Um, I have some courses available there. I'm working on an ACX course now, but check it out. I would love to have you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.